Hello there.
Today's Forgotten Realms D&D topic, Beholders. The Beholder is one of the most iconic D&D monsters. They are essentially one giant floating eyeball with extra eyes on top of that, a mouth, and magical powers. Due to how many eyes a Beholder has, they are almost impossible to sneak up on, and besides that, each eye has its own unique magic ability. It's typical for the main one to be able to emit a cone of anti-magic energy, and for the others to charm, paralyze, scare, slow, chloroform, enervate, petrify, disintegrate, or cause instant death. But Beholders come in many different types, so abilities may vary. For instance, there's a few that are undead, like the Bloodkiss Beholder, which is vampiric, the Death Tyrant, which is almost like a lich or a zombie, and the Doomsphere, which is a ghost. The Elder Orb is known for being nearly immortal in terms of age. There's an Eye of Flame, an Eye of Frost, and an Eye of Shadow. There's the incredibly rare Hive Mother, who is able to dominate other Beholders and bend them to her will. And there's the Eye Drake, which is a Beholder who turned itself into a dragon. Yes, Beholders can change themselves. They do this inadvertently by hyperfixating on a subject. A Death Tyrant comes into being when a Beholder dreams of existing beyond death. An Eye Drake happens when a Beholder thinks about dragons so much it becomes one while sleeping. The dreams of Beholders are immensely powerful. In fact, this is how they procreate. By dreaming of themselves, which they are prone to do, they can pop a new fully grown Beholder into existence. Sometimes it's an exact duplicate, but dreams are unpredictable, and so are the types of Beholders, or any creature, theoretically, that happens to be thought into existence. This process is actually how the first Beholder is believed to have come into being. They were thought into existence by the eldritch god known as the Great Mother. There is even a small group of in-universe scholars who believe that the Great Mother is proof of a fragmented god. The argument being that a sentient eye doesn't make zoological/evolutionary sense. So she must be part of some greater being who unraveled. It is the hope of these people that the miscellaneous body parts can be put back together someday to create the collected God and bring balance back to the multiverse. It's probably not true, but it's nice to have hope, I guess. Anyway, the Great Mother drifts through reality, gibbering to herself in an alien proto-language and experiencing visions that no mortal should see. She is the foremost expert on the subjects of chaos and evil, and while dangerously intelligent, is thought by lesser beings to be completely insane. In truth, she is perhaps one of the few Beholders that aren't. It's just that others can't comprehend the truth that she speaks. Yet there is conflict here, for there is proof of a different origin story, that proof being the Spindle. The Spindle is an enormous mountain located on the planet of Hakatha. It is said that by following a particular path to the mountain's top, one will acquire knowledge of the entire universe. But since that's a lot of information, you'd need an exceptionally large brain to store it and not go mad. And Beholders have really big brains. One Beholder, known as Large Luigi, successfully climbed the mountain and learned the truth of his purpose. According to Large Luigi, the Beholders were created by the gods of a different dimension/plane of existence to scout the material plane and learn its secrets. But the gods of the material plane got freaked out when they saw these alien invaders and cursed the entire Beholder race, making them forget their purpose and turn to madness. Now, Large Luigi does what he can to fulfill his original purpose by brokering information to those who ask for it, as long as the acquired knowledge doesn't upset the balance of good and evil. Side note, Large Luigi even learned that the entirety of his existence resides in the minds of those known as role players. Yup, we have officially broken the fourth wall. Oh, and you did hear me right before. Almost all Beholders are mentally unstable in some fashion. Typically, they are paranoid narcissists, thinking that they are the pinnacle of perfection and that anyone not exactly like them is an enemy, even other Beholders. They're not just paranoid when it comes to others, though. No. They're actually paranoid about themselves, too. It is believed that every Beholder's mind, except for that of the Great Mother's, is divided into two separate entities, each of which thinks and acts on its own despite being confined to one body. And each personality hides things from its twin. But beholders can have many different types of mental issues. One of the most famous beholders in D&D is Xanathar Zeussax. I'm probably mispronouncing that, oh well. He's crazy about his goldfish, literally. He's super possessive, so don't touch it unless you want to die. Oh, and I know I covered the different types of beholders earlier, but there are also the beholder kin. These creatures are weaker, but also saner because unlike true beholders, they only have one personality. A reasonable trade-off, if you ask me. There's quite a few of these guys, so I'll just rattle off the list. There's the Death Kiss, Director, Eye of the Deep, Goth, Gazer, Gouger, Observer, Overseer, and Spectator. Now, this next subject is a little gross, so fair warning. As stated, beholders are inherently magic, but some wish to pursue the arcane arts even further, and become what is known as a beholder mage. In order to do this, they need to mutilate themselves, because of how their central eye has anti-magic properties. They need to gouge it out if they want to properly cast a spell themselves. They then use their detached eye as a spellcasting focus, and are able to dedicate an eye stalk to learning a spell of high level without the need of material components. Honestly, it makes for a terrifying enemy. Anyway, that pretty much covers beholders. See you next time!
Bye, everybody!